So the ignition switch jumped back to position off. We can now select ignition left to start then engine on the left side. And it looks good. Engine number 2 is stabilized, so let's start engine number 1. And there we are getting onto the taxiway. It's always nice how good the pushback truck of GSX is putting the aircraft onto the taxiway. As you can see, we are perfectly here on the taxiway. Very good job by the pushback truck, by the driver of the pushback truck. And we have, yeah, nice weather today here, some clouds, but it's not raining, and we have a little bit of wind here, but nice weather to take off here at San Diego. So we should set the parking brake now, and we need to give the fuel now to engine number 1, 2. You can see we have an outside air temperature of 21 degrees Celsius. We will take off here from runway 09er and climb a little bit and then turn left and fly into this direction. So turn back into direction of the airport and fly in this direction. And we need to taxi via Bravo and then to Bravo 8. So I think in this direction, then to the left side. We can have a look. Yeah. Runway 09er is very close to our actual position. It's somewhere there, should be the lineup position for runway 09er. So both engines are stabilized. Great. The pushback is completed. We can now go on with the before taxi procedure. So we can turn on generator 1 and 2, so the generators. So there's our hand signal. Thank you very much. Bye bye. So generator 1 and 2 are activated, so we're now taking electricity via the generators of the engines. So we do not need the APU anymore, so we can turn this one off. And we will activate the probe heat, which we can activate at here with these 2 switches. The packs can get back to auto now, left and right pack to auto. Isolation valve, this one here in the middle, I think, yes, it should be this one, goes to auto. Apu Bleed, which we have here, is going to position off. And then the engine start switches both go to continuous. We can set the takeoff flaps. We use takeoff flaps 5 for this takeoff. We used flaps 5 for this takeoff today. So there, as you can see, flaps are extended. And now we can check our flight controls. So we need to press this button here. There we have our flight controls, so we can check them now. So first we move the joke full left, then full right, and back into position neutral, then full up to check the elevators, full down, elevators are looking good, neutral, and the rudder is checked as well. Rudder full left, full right, and neutral. Rudder looks good, so flight controls are working. Great. And the last point is to turn on the taxi light, and we can have a look now whether the takeoff flaps are set. Yeah, they are set to position 5. So we now only need to do the before taxi checklist, and then we can start taxiing towards runway 09er. So there it is, before taxi checklist. Generators are on. Probe heat is on. Anti-ice is set off, we do not need it today. Isolation valve is auto. Engine start switches are set to continuous. Recall, we check this now. Everything looks good. Auto brake is at RTO. Engine start levers are idle detent. Flight controls are checked. We checked them just a few seconds ago. And the ground equipment is clear. Before taxi checklist is completed, we can release the parking brake and start taxiing towards runway 09er here at the airport of San Diego. So let's move the throttles a little bit forward to get some speed. We can taxi, yeah, about 15 knots at the moment, because we need to turn left at here. There's no other aircraft coming from there, so we can turn left here on this taxiway and do not need to taxi so long until we reach the holding point. So it's holding point Bravo 8. Here we have Bravo 2, so we need to taxi a little bit more into this direction. What says it? Here it says Bravo 9, so the next one should be Bravo 8, I would say. Can have a look. Yeah, down there we need to turn right, and then we can contact the tower and request our takeoff clearance. So yeah, at the moment we do not need to do anything else. Are here any other aircraft? Yeah, there are some other aircraft standing there at the gates. The JetBlue, Airbus of JetBlue is standing right there. But on the other gates, oh, there's another one. I think the US Airways Airbus A321 or so of US Airways. But here we are now. What? Do we taxi too far? No. Here it is, Bravo 8, or? Yeah, here we should taxi onto the runway, so we are right. And here we can taxi towards the holding line. Or what does it say on this side? Is also Bravo 10. But yeah, it doesn't matter. FSX says we should taxi. We should line up at here, so we will do this. So we can now contact tower and request our takeoff clearance. So we are cleared for takeoff runway at runway 09. We now do the before takeoff procedure. So there we now need to move the switch of the position lights to strobe and steady, so that also the strobes are activated. Then we activate the TCAS by moving the switch, this switch here, to TARA, and do the before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist, flaps are set to 5. We have a green light here, great. And stabilizer trim is set to 5.12 units, that's fine. So we are finished with the before takeoff checklist and can line up on runway 09 here at San Diego Airport. So then we can turn on the landing lights now. So here we have a little displaced threshold where we will start our where we line up here. On the other side of the runway we also have a displaced threshold at this runway here at San Diego. So let's do a nice lineup, and then we will put the thrust levers. Then we will put the thrust of the engines to the power of the engines to around about 40% N1. We will check that whether the engines are stabilized, and if they are stabilized, I hope that they are stabilized, but I think they will stabilize at 40%. Then we will press the toga switch. We can press the hidden toga button at here, and then the aircraft will set the power for takeoff on their own. So then let's line up a little bit better so that we are in a straight, so that we are aligned, that we are in line with the center line. And now I would say we can move we can set the takeoff power, the power of the engines to 40%. Look whether the engines are stabilized. It looks good, they are stabilized. Press the toga switch and let's go. Takeoff here in San Diego. Our flight to Seattle starts right now. So now takeoff thrust is set. We are accelerating, that's great. And now reached 80 knots. It's checked. And we're getting closer to V1 and rotate to our rotation speed. And there is our rotation speed. So we move the nose up into the air, have a positive rate now, and can move the gear to position up. Great. So we climb out now here of San Diego Airport. We can have a look again here over the area of the airport. And here you can see we have a very, very long displaced threshold at runway 27 here at San Diego, but it's due to the mountains we are flying over right now. They are so the aircraft need to be very high during approach at here. So there's a displaced that's why there's a displaced threshold on this side of the runway. It's runway 27. So the clouds are very low today, so we're getting into the clouds very soon now. We can change to another frequency, to another airport. Let's choose any other airport, doesn't matter which one. So, and we can now engage the autopilot and also activate VNAV. So, and now the autopilot will fly the aircraft, and by LNAV and VNAV. So by LNAV, that it stays on the route, and VNAV to be on the right altitude and to have the right speed. So we are now able to retract the flaps to 1, and then soon we can also move the flaps into position up. At the moment the aircraft is accelerating to 230 knots. So, and now we reached our flap reduction speed, so we can now set the flaps to position up. We are at 4,000 feet, as we should be at this point. You can see it at here. And turn left, and then we are downwind, flying downwind to San Diego Airport. I think it's called fly downwind runway 09er. In English it's downwind runway 09er, I think it's called. So we fly into the other direction than we took off. And yeah, maybe we'll see San Diego Airport again, but there are too much clouds, I think. We are now above the clouds. You can see a little bit down there, but I think there are too much clouds to see the airport of San Diego again from then here on the left side, but we will see. We are continuing our climb and can do the after takeoff checklist. Or first the after takeoff procedure. So the auto brakes can go to position up, to position off. You can turn them off. The landing gear is up and can go off now. The engine start switches also go off. Then we can turn off the taxi light. I forgot to turn on the runway turn off lights, but I forgot to turn on the runway turn off lights, but yeah, it doesn't matter, no problem. So they're also turned off, and we can do the after takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds are turned on. We have them at here. For engine 1 and engine 2, both are turned on. The packs are at auto. Landing gears up and off, flaps up. No lights. After takeoff checklist is completed. We are now passing 9,000 feet. There you can see a little bit of San Diego Airport. While we are now flying downwind runway 09er. Yeah, that is San Diego Airport. And there's gate 26. There it is, gate 26, where we stood with our aircraft. There are some other aircrafts, and there you can also see the aircraft of JetBlue and US Airways, I think, which we saw during taxiing. So we can now turn off the landing lights because we passed 10,000 feet. We are now accelerating to 305 knots because we are now above 10,000 feet. Below 10,000 feet you are only allowed to fly 250 knots, not faster than 250 knots, and we can use a higher simulation rate so that it does not take too long until we are at our destination Seattle-Tacoma. And we can open another window, I would say, to also have a look to the aircraft from the outside. And there, the airport of San Diego, we can see it again. So we turn left now, and today we will fly to the northeast, I think. From San Diego to Seattle you need to fly to the northeast, but we do not fly a direct route, or not at the moment, but we turn left again, and then I think we will fly nearly straight towards Seattle. You can see it at here. So we passed our transition altitude. We can set the altimeters to standard, and when we turn right at here, we can put the simulation rate again a little bit higher. At the moment I use 4 times faster than real time, so that it does not take too long until we reach our destination. So now we did everything that's needed for after takeoff, and the next thing and next procedure is then the descent procedure. So we have now a little bit of time until we need to do the next procedure. We can have a look at the progress page at here. So here you can see we have nearly 900. Now we have 900 nautical miles left until we reach Seattle-Tacoma. In 2 hours of flight time are left. In reality, this flight takes about 2.5 hours. At the moment, we have 18.3 thousand lbs fuel on board, and it says that we will have 8.5 thousand lbs left on board when we then are at our destination at Seattle-Tacoma. So we have enough fuel left. Our reserves are 6.5 thousand lbs, so we will have enough fuel left then at Seattle. We need to fly 40 nautical miles until we are at our top of climb, until we reach our cruising altitude, flight level 360. So there we also already can see our top of climb. There it is in the navigation display. Oh, the aircraft is not on the route right now, but it's trying its best to get back on the route. It's also because of the high simulation rate. Maybe I should put it a little bit lower so that the aircraft can get back on the route much easier. So now it turns right again, and then it should get on the route. I hope so, but we will see. The aircraft is trying its best. Then it would be nice if we can fly with a higher simulation rate. But this should be possible. So turn left again. There's our top of climb. So we have only 2,000 feet to go now until we will reach it. Oh, why is there a message fuel? We will have enough fuel left. Let's have a look into the overhead panel. Oh, yeah, but probably because the center fuel pumps can go off. Now we can have a look how much fuel is left there. There it is, that says, yeah. There's no fuel left in the center fuel pump, so they can go to position off now. Center fuel pumps coming off. We are getting closer to our cruising altitude. The aircraft is now better on the route, so we can put the simulation rate to 16 times faster than real time, so that we can fly a little bit faster to Seattle. Oh no, it's a little bit too high, but I hope it will get on flight level 360. We'll get back to flight level 360. Also when we fly with this high simulation rate. Oh no, I need to put the simulation rate a little bit lower. Maybe 8 times faster. Yeah, otherwise the aircraft has problems with flying on the route. So maybe we should fly with 4 times faster then. So we should fly with a simulation rate of 4 times faster than real time, otherwise the aircraft won't stay on the route. So now we can have a look outside, I would say, and can have a look where we are flying right now. So let's get into the bird perspective, zoom out of here. So somewhere here I think is San Diego, and I need to have a look at the map. Wait a second to know where we are now, so we can have a look where we will fly today. So San Diego, yeah, it's right, it must be anywhere here. Somewhere here San Diego is located. Very close to Los Angeles, which should be... Oh, this is... Maybe this is This should be Los Angeles. Yeah, this should be Los Angeles. And there should be San Diego. And then at here should be... Somewhere here should be San Francisco. Oh, no. No, it should be... No, San Francisco is... No, maybe... No, San Francisco is at here. Here we have San Francisco. Here it's Los Angeles. And here we have San Diego. And Seattle... Oh, maybe, yeah, in the beginning or some minutes ago I said we will fly to the northeast, but no, we are nearly flying straight to the north, not to the northeast, because Seattle is located somewhere here. I cannot identify it right now where it is, but it is somewhere here it should be, so we can fly really directly to the north. Oh, now it looks like that the aircraft is perfectly en route again. Yeah, now you can if we fly with 4 times faster than real time, the aircraft is perfectly en route, on the route. So yeah, but I would say I will stop recording right now. Then I will fly a little bit without recording, and when we are getting closer to our top of descent, which will be in 570. Around about 570 nautical miles, somewhere maybe 100 nautical miles before our top of descent, I will continue recording, and then we will continue our flight to Seattle, to the airport Seattle-Tacoma. So, if you liked this flight until now, I hope so that you liked it. Then please press the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, so that you do not miss any other videos of FSX. And then I will see you in the next part of this flight. Until then, bye.